Hey everybody, it's Dana. How are you doing today? I am so happy to be here with you live. If you're on with me and you can see me or hear me, please let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Feel free to put your questions in the comments below and I'll answer them after the fact. I'm Dana Lavoie. I am an acupuncturist and herbalist, and I help women prepare for an easier menopause, feel better during menopause, and feel younger and stay healthier after menopause. And the truth is, these are all variations on the same thing. And one of the biggest ways that I do this is by helping women learn to use customized Chinese herbs. And today I am going to be diving a little deeper into the subject of this week's blog post, which was the sort of special subset of Chinese medicine that comes from Taoism that's all about longevity. So these 1,000-year-old Taoist longevity formulas designed to basically help you feel and look younger for longer. It's really awesome because it works. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And before I dive into that, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what's going on with me right now, because this is one of my favorite weeks of the year because I am teaching my free live masterclass on herbs for menopause, right? So I only do this a few times a year. I am teaching it twice more, and then it's going to be offline for many months, where I show you how to choose the right herbs and the insider pro herbalist secrets to using herbs that will make the results you get from herbal remedies so much bigger and so much more long lasting than what most women get with herbal remedies. It's stuff that almost everyone who attends is not familiar with, and I absolutely love sharing it. And if you'd like to catch one of those last two classes, they're totally free. Just go to danalavoielac.com/masterclass to save your seat. Hit me up in the live Q&A. It's a ton of fun. But today I want to talk about these longevity formulas and looking and feeling younger after menopause. So one of the things that I work with women on a lot is in all the years after menopause, your hormones, here's what's going on with your hormones, right? After menopause, they stabilize again. They've dropped down a bit and now they stabilize. But where are they at? Are they at zero? Or are they up at about the levels they were at when you were 10 or 11 years old? Because that's where you want them. And there's a big difference between zero and where you want them. And so a lot of what these really, really like thousands of year old Taoist herbal formulas do is they help your body to keep those hormone levels higher. And in Chinese medicine, we call it supporting your yin and yang jing, among other things, but it equates pretty well with all your different male and female hormones. And so it's really exciting how this has actually been happening a lot, that Western medicine is sort of proving things that traditional Chinese medicine has been saying for ages. It's amazing how much is being confirmed. And these longevity formulas are just, they're one of the things that make me feel good about like getting older and not so scared, you know? Okay, so there's one big theme running. So I want to explain to you a bit about these longevity formulas and how they work. So there's one big theme running through the three things I mentioned at the beginning: preparing for an easier menopause, feeling better during menopause, and looking and feeling younger and staying healthier after menopause. And one of the themes, there's other things going on, but one of the things that you do that helps you to achieve this is to make sure that your hormone levels don't ever drop too low, that your progesterone doesn't drop too low during perimenopause, that none of your hormones drop too low too fast during menopause, and that they even out at levels that are not too low after menopause. So at the beginning, before you start menopause, what we're doing is making sure your hormones are about to drop. It's like if you were about to go for a long car trip, you would gas up the car first. Well, if you're about to go through menopause, you want to make sure all your hormone levels are as high as they can be before they start to drop. And progesterone is the one that tends to drop early, that tends to drop first, that tends to go low and cause the most problems in the early perimenopause. So sort of making sure to hey, Kelly, oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Bring on the questions if you want. And so progesterone is one of the hormones that tends to drop early. So when I'm working with women preparing for menopause, we're working on making sure that to beef up those progesterone levels. Other things I like to work on pre-menopause is learning to manage stress levels, getting on a basic healthy diet and lifestyle, and like a basic herbal formula to just top off all your hormone levels, especially progesterone. You go into menopause with that in place, you're going to have an easier time. Because here's this theme, like I said, this theme running through. It's always easier to keep your hormone levels higher than to build them up after they've already been like down at zero for a while. So before menopause, we're making sure everything is nice and high. And then during menopause, it's about estrogen and progesterone and other things as well. We're making sure that none of them drop too low or too fast, that none of them bottom out while they're changing all during menopause. So a lot of menopause remedies are things that help you raise hormone levels. Now, there are other things you need to support, but this is one theme that is very important. So we're working on it before menopause, we're working on it during menopause. And of course, one of the things that I absolutely love about Chinese medicine is it doesn't just give you herbs that are like the most similar to hormone replacement. I mean, yes, we do use some herbs that are rich in phytoestrogens and that are to help the body, raise low hormone levels, low yin and yang jing levels. But we're also looking at things like, what about stress? Because if you're really stressed, that stress is like eating up your hormones. So it's like you're trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. So we're always looking at these energy leaks, reasons why maybe your hormones are low. Like women who before menopause have been totally burning the candle at both ends are more likely to go into it depleted. So Chinese medicine has this incredibly holistic approach to helping to keep those hormone levels higher. And the formulas, once they're customized, are going to take in to account all the things in your whole sort of life that need to be addressed. But like I said, today I'm talking about one of the big themes that runs through is keeping those hormone levels high enough, which does alleviate a lot of the discomforts that we feel. So during menopause, we're making sure nothing drops too low all of a sudden. And after menopause, we're making sure that your hormone levels stabilize at the level where we want them to be, which is not zero. It's up at around those 10 or 11-year-old levels. Because yes, your body can still make hormones after menopause, even without your ovaries. Your body, because your ovaries kind of shut down anyway, your adrenal glands can take over and make some of the hormones. Your body can still produce enough hormones naturally to keep them at that level. And some women, they just do it naturally, but I will say that they're in the minority. And I find that most women, their bodies need a little bit of help to keep those hormone levels from ever dropping too low. And the herbs are my total go-to for that. They're absolutely wonderful. So in tonic herbalism, which is where these longevity formulas come from, it would be recommended that everyone use herbs to support their yin and yang jing before, during, and after menopause, whether you are symptomatic or not. So even if you're not having hot flashes or anything like that, it's great to support. In Chinese medicine, these energies are basically the energies that you're born with, and you use them up, and when they're gone, you die. So the more you can supplement them, the more longevity you have. And it's not just about living a long time, it's about living with a very high quality of health and a very high quality of mental health and a very high quality of life. So in tonic herbalism, it would be recommended that everyone use herbs to support their yin and yang jing after menopause. And these longevity formulas are amazing for that, revitalizing, energizing, balancing, and very protective as well against all different kinds of things that can happen. Now, Western medicine is very much about like treating problems after they arise, right? We can use the formulas in this way. Like sometimes women come to me because they've been diagnosed as, they're really like borderline osteoporosis. They've lost a lot of bone mass. Yes, we can address that with herbs, but if you use herbs before that ever happens to just kind of prevent that deficiency from ever happening, it's actually easier on the body and easier for the body than to let it happen and then build it back up. And that's kind of what these longevity formulas are all based in. It's like, you get enough sleep every night, you practice your stress management every day, you eat the right food, and you take your longevity herbs, you take your adaptogenic herbs, you take your protective herbs, right? So that you are prepared, so that you are preventing all kinds of things from happening. That's the idea behind them. And that's the approach I love to take with women after menopause. It's let's get you on what I call a customized core vital aging formula that's balanced for your system. That's like, you basically want your yin and yang jing, which is sort of like your female and male hormones, to both be supported after menopause. So for some women, they might need more support with one than the other, and other women it could be flipped around. But the idea is to give support in a way that gets them both to kind of an equal level. And so it's customized, but it's within the same range. And to do that for every woman after menopause, oh, I just love that. And you add in a little bit of that sort of adaptogenic protection, some of those like mushrooms for the immune system, some big time adaptogens to regulate the body systems. And that combination right there, oh my goodness, supporting the yin and yang jing, adaptogens to help regulate body systems, and some protective herbs like medicinal mushrooms, things like that. That combination after menopause is just incredible for preventative wellness and youthful longevity. And when you look at these Taoist longevity formulas, it's exactly what they are. Some of them might be a little bit more geared towards beauty, beautiful skin, beautiful hair. Some of them might be a little more geared towards supporting joints and bones. Some might be a little more geared towards supporting eye health or sleep, depending on what you need. But they're all going to have that sort of base of supporting yin and yang jing, adaptogenic regulation and protection, and if needed, help with liver function. That's kind of what makes a complete longevity formula. And oh my goodness, it feels so good to be on something like that. You start to feel so sort of invulnerable, kind of like you just feel like, whatever the world throws at me, I'm going to be able to handle it. It's an incredible feeling. Instead of feeling like, okay, if the world throws one more thing at me, I want to get in bed and pull the covers over my head. That is what it feels like when your jing energy, your underlying energies, are not supported. So jing is really, really fun. All right, so let's see. Let me check my notes. I've just been going on and see what else I wanted to talk about. Da, 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 da. Yes. So in China, some of these longevity formulas, they tend to be very safe, the herbs in them. And often they're things that would even be like cooked into food, into a soup, into a stew. In the Shaolin Temple, the monks would be eating these herbs as part of their food, their breakfast porridge, every day, and drinking tea infused with these super herbs daily so that they can sort of perform at a higher level than most of us humans. So they're things that were very much safe and meant to be used like every day long term. And there's two ways to go about this. So superfoods and herbs that can be considered superfoods and added to your diet. So like things that you're just kind of adding to your diet, putting in your tea. That's great. Like there's a lot of great superfoods out there. And if you start to sort of infuse them into your diet in a general way, it can be really, really wonderful. But the part that I specialize in is a little bit more a customized herbal formula that you would take a little bit more like, okay, I'm going to take, 2 tablets twice a day or something like that. It's not just something that I sprinkle on my soup when I remember it. Those are great. Those are like taking your diet to the next level, but adding in a customized herbal formula that is balanced for your yin, yang, and liver function, like that's a little bit more specialized, and it really takes the whole thing to the next level. And so for specifics on this, like I said before, it's very important that it's customized for each woman. And just to give you guys a clue, if this is something you're interested in, you definitely want to catch the free masterclass that I'm teaching on how to choose the right herbs. I'm teaching it twice more in Sunday and Tuesday, and then that's it. It's going to be offline for 3 to 6 months at least. So if you're at all interested in how to find the right herbs, customized herbs for you, don't miss the free masterclass. But I also wanted to let you know, just give you like a real sneak peek, is there something that I've been working on and developing for many years. And it's an online herbal program. And one whole part of it, I call it the symptom translator, where you kind of can plug in simple information about yourself, and you will get out information about herbs that are customized for you, for your yin, for your yang, for your liver function, all that kind of thing. And then you can add on that adaptogenic protection so that you can create one of these customized tonic herbal formulas for yourself. And if you're curious about that, you can let me know. There's a huge section in the course just for post-menopause. So for finding those core vital aging formulas, it's just about that. And it just covers all the bases in terms of that, because it's something that's one of my favorite topics, whether it's like libido or dryness or weight gain, structural support for bones or joints, thinning hair, if sleep is an issue, eye health. It's just, whether you tend to feel warm or cool or you're just the right temperature, it takes all of that into account. And I'm so excited to be able to offer this kind of customization when it comes to herbs. So if you're at all curious about that, like I said, if you want to know, might it be right for me, don't miss the free masterclass, and message me if you have any questions. The online program is open for enrollment until May 31st. And then again, the whole thing's closing down, and I will be working closely with a new group of students for 3 months because that's what I do. It includes working with me. So it's very exciting, and I really don't think there's anything else like it after that. And so, like I said, that's why this is one of my favorite weeks of the whole year, because I'm opening that up. I'm sharing the free masterclass. I feel passionately that knowing how to use customized herbs for their hormones is a tool every woman should know how to use, because when your hormones start to go wonky and you don't know what's happening and it feels like it's out of your control and you don't know what you can do about it, it's so frustrating and it can seriously take over your life with discomforts. And so I really feel like every woman needs to have this tool in her back pocket, because it's like the most powerful natural remedy. For 16 years, I've just seen it work over and over and over again. Oh, and I had something to share with you guys. I think I have to go like this so it won't cover my face. This is from the last masterclass, what the women on the class were saying while we were learning, like about how what they were learning was making them feel. It was definitely new information, even for some of them who were pretty experienced. So it's just been incredibly fun. And there's also live Q&A. So like if you guys have any questions, we go into stuff in great detail. But if you have questions, I'm also happy to answer them tonight. So pop some questions in the chat for me. All right. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention really quickly, I'm just going to shut that down so I can sit in the middle again. I just wanted to let you know that the online program that I was talking about, because of what's going on in the world right now, the program is mostly about herbs for during and after menopause. But I have created a mini course all about herbs for the immune system with 3 really detailed, really customizable herbal protocols for preventing getting sick, for what to do if you're fighting something off, and for support, because plant medicine is so great if you were to get a viral infection in your respiratory system, support you through all the stages of that. So it's really incredible mini course about herbs for the immune system. And I'm including that for free for anyone who enrolls in my online herbal program between now and when I shut the doors on May 31st. So in terms of COVID, we are totally taking that into account. And also because of COVID, I am offering the course at a different price than it's going to be in the future by quite a bit. So the price is going to be going up about $200 in the future. So it's like the best possible time to get the immune mini course for free, to get the price before the course price increase takes place. So if you have any questions about like that, like I said, don't miss the masterclass or just send me a message. But this is one of my absolute favorite things to share. Empowering women with this information just makes me so happy. So Kelly says, hi. Kelly, if you're still there and you had some questions, let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you. And Thania says, I'm getting 54 in a few months and I'm still having my period. Okay, so I know in some ways you're probably like, you know what? I'm ready for this to be over and to not have to deal with this every month. And that is going to happen eventually, I promise you. But in Chinese medicine, having your period for longer means that you have more jing than other women, right? It means on the scale of how much you were like born with and haven't used up yet, you have more. So when a woman stops her period early, like when she's 38 or 40, her period is stopping early. Her hormone levels are dropping early. So she did not have enough of that longevity energy to keep going for longer. Like, if this is your life, she got to the part that's closer to the end of her life where the hormones drop, where your period stops sooner. You have more of that longevity energy. So, like, you probably could have had kids until a later age, right? You were fertile for longer. You have more youthful juice in you, right? And I will say this as well, Western medicine has confirmed this. If you're still having your period, it means your hormone levels are still higher. They have not dropped to that critical level yet. And keeping your hormone levels higher for longer, for an extra 5 or 10 years, which compared to what some women get, you are getting, is very protective for your health later in life. It's why a lot of women will use hormone replacement therapy and take estrogen for 5 or 10 years from right when their period starts. They don't take it forever, but they take it for 5 or 10 years because that has been proven to prevent a lot of future health conditions. Well, your body is keeping your estrogen level higher for longer naturally. So even though your period might seem like kind of a pain in Chinese medicine, it's actually a sign. Like we say, is someone having signs of early aging? That means their energies are low. If someone is having signs of delayed aging, that means their energy levels are higher, their energy reserves are higher. So in Chinese medicine, it's kind of a good sign, even though I know it's probably kind of a pain. And I can tell you that I'm in kind of the same situation. So it's good and it's bad. It's like, I know that it means something good, but I also feel like it'll be nice when I don't have it anymore. So I can relate. And the only thing I would say is that the only time it becomes such a downside is when your period is really difficult, when you are bleeding too much or bleeding too often or having crazy mood swings or cramps or, something like that. And Chinese medicine is great at helping to mitigate that, to make sure that at least it's pretty mild, nothing major, no major mood swings, not too much bleeding, not too much discomfort. Maybe a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's no big deal. That is what Chinese medicine can offer, that you're still having it. We can make it so it's not such a big deal. And you can know that it means you have more longevity energy built up in your reserves than a lot of women do. So there you go. I hope that made you feel a little better about it. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that will make it stop prematurely. I actually find that when women start taking these herbs, these types of longevity formulas, sometimes if their period is already sort of stopping, it will come back. That's exactly what will happen. Is if it stopped too soon, like maybe it's been 6 months or, it stopped when they were 38, they'll take these herbs, their period will come back just like normal for 2 or 3 more years, and then it'll taper off into menopause. So it's like turning back the clock. And for you, it's like the clock was already turned back. And in your picture, you look like really, really, your Facebook picture that I can see here, you look super young and youthful and beautiful. So there are benefits to that, even though you might not consider still having your period a benefit. So does anybody else have any questions? Anything you want to talk about at all about herbs and your particular situation or anything like that? Because I'd be happy to answer them for you. Put them in the chat. And before I log off, I'm going to do one thing. I shared this video into my group, and I'm just going to pop over there and double check if there are any comments, because I am not sure if those comments will show up on my screen otherwise. So I'm just going to pop over there really quickly and check for any questions before I log off. But in the meantime, what we covered today was a little bit of a more in-depth look at the longevity formulas from Chinese medicine, which was the topic of this week's blog post. So if you want to read like a nice, concise, organized explication of them, go to the blog post that just came out on my blog this week at danalavoielac.com. The most recent blogs are right on the front page. And I talked a little bit about the fact that I am teaching my free masterclass on herbs for menopause on Sunday and Tuesday, and then that's it. It's going to be offline for 3 to 6 months at least. So if you're the least bit interested in this, the hour-long class is fantastic. I just worked really hard on it. I had so much fun putting it together. It's stuff that I really think like everyone should know about. So if you haven't, definitely save a seat in that free class and join me for one of those remaining classes. All right, so let me take a quick peek. Okay, I don't see any unanswered questions here. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. And for replay viewers, you guys, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. You might want to tag me. Just type my name, Dana. I'm Dana Lavoie. I am an acupuncturist and herbalist, and I help women feel amazing during and after menopause by simplifying Chinese medicine and helping them use customized Chinese herbs supported by the best diet and lifestyle for their hormones to feel better naturally. And you can find me at danalavoielac.com. So if you have any questions and if you're curious about herbs, definitely connect with me this week before May 31st. Don't wait. Send me a message. We can chat one-on-one. Join the free masterclass. And then after that, things will mellow out a little bit and we'll just be talking in general. But there's no way in a blog post or a Facebook Live or an email that I can share what I share in the masterclass. Those other things are each like one piece of the puzzle, whereas in the masterclass, I have you for a full hour. I have a slide presentation, I have visual aids, and I can give you the big picture. And it's something that I absolutely love to do. You will never see a hot flash the same way again if you attend my masterclass. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you guys really soon. Just send me a message if you have any questions. Bye.